Okay, what's up, computer art students? Lesson 14, pen with flower and vine. We're going to use a liquify filter on this tutorial in Photoshop. So we're going to go to our autobiographical poster folder again. This time we're going to pull open a pen, pen and rose right here, PSD. Here we go. Save for us here. So the goal for this tutorial is to get this kind of stem of the rose to wrap around the pen. Okay, and to do that we're going to use a liquify filter. So if I go over to my stem, I can move it. Let me go to Apple T or Edit Transform Scale. I'm going to twist it slightly, give it a twist, and then I'm going to increase the size. So it's kind of the length of the pen. It's got some thickness to it, that's alright. Okay. Double click when you think you have it the way you want it. Activate the transform by double clicking. That's pretty good. We don't need the petals or the leaves until later. But the stem is a little dark, especially on top of the purple pen, so we're going to change the color of the pen. Go to the pen tool or the pen layer, hit Command U, and that's the quick command for hue saturation under image adjustments. And then we're just going to change the color by sliding the bar to a more of a brighter color. We can increase the saturation, maybe a little bit of lightness. I think a nice yellow is good. Remember, you don't want to click the colorize button because that'll colorize the grays, the blacks, and the whites that we see also. Okay, click OK when you like it. Now if we go back to the stem, we are going to use the liquify tool. Under filter, liquify, here it is. Or Shift Command X is the quick command for that. It's going to bring open this this box, and we are going to use the forward warp tool, or W on your keyboard. And here's some other tools we could use as well. The bloat tool, we might play around with that. The pucker tool, and you might want to experiment with some of these. Turbulence, but we're just going to warp it a little bit. We're going to push it around so that it looks like it's kind of going in and out, zigzagging around the pen. My brush size is at 100. We can increase that to 200. That might be a little large. Let's go back to 100 and see what happens. Okay, brush density, and you can play around with these adjustments to get the liking, to get what you need. So let's just kind of push this out a little bit, and it is going to kind of thin out the vine slightly. But we can go back in with the pucker tool and take care of that. Let's try the brush pressure down to 50, see what happens. Yeah, we're still getting the thin line, but once again, we'll fix that. It could be that our brush is set too low. If I step back, or you can just hit cancel. Let's hit cancel once and try that again. Let's go to filter, liquify again. Let's see what happens when we turn our brush size to 200. That might get a better result. And I want my pressure back up to 100. Okay, so I'm just going to push this out. I think this might work better for us. We're not doing as much work. We're still getting the same thin line, but now we can use the bloat tool to bloat some of this back out. Now that we have a curve, we can use the bloat tool and hit some of the thickness again. You know, stems aren't going to bend in a perfect curve. That's okay if we have some jaggedness to it. So just hit up all the thin lines with your bloat tool. For the most part, that looks okay. Let's click OK and see what happens. Now we hit it quite a bit. If you want to change it, all you have to do is go back to the filter, liquify, and we can alter it. So what we could do is we could bring this back in slightly if we think we pushed it too much, too far. And I think we might have done that. So let's push it back in a little bit to hit the edge of the brush or the pen a little bit better. That might be okay. Click OK. And we can deal with that. We can work with this. Alright. Now that we have that in line, we are going to create a mask. And the mask is down at the bottom. Click Add Layer Mask. And we're going to use a brush. Use the brush tool. Make sure you have the black selected down on your color picker. Use your brush. And I'm going to make sure that I have a nice rounded brush. And I think that'll work. I put my size at 38. And all we want to do is make it look like we're going to mask this out to make it look like it's behind. It's going to wrap around and behind the pen. Okay, so we're just going to take this and kind of erase it. We're not really erasing it, we're just making a mask over the pen. It's going to tuck behind it, go around it, and then let me decrease the size of my brush here so I can get in there with some fine detail and just mask it out. Take it down a little bit further. Alright. There's our mask. Now all we need to do is move our stem into place. Oops, sorry. See what happens when we move the mask. Make sure we have our flower selected. Move the flower in place. I'm going to link the stem and the pen together by holding on the Command key, and now I'm going to link them because I want them to move together like that. Move them over. Now I'm going to get my flower in line, but I'm going to move it above everything. Okay, get it nice and in alignment there. Just like so. Okay, and then let's place the leaves. We can duplicate the leaves. Hold down the Alt key. Let's duplicate it a couple times. Maybe I want to increase the size of this one slightly so they're not so perfect. I can Apple T, remember, is the transform. I'm going to alter this a little bit. Maybe put one here. And then I'm going to go back to this one and place it Apple T again, or Command T to kind of put them in place right about there. I'm going to need to nudge it a little bit to make it fit. Okay, for the most part that works. What we can do now is link them all together. Click on the top layer, hold down Shift, click on the bottom layer. And actually, you know, we're pretty much done with this. So if we're done with this, we can just merge them all. Apple E or Command E or merge layers. Okay, and now we have a one solid layer. So let's pull this off and let's drop it in our workspace. There we have our pen. It's reading as flower right now. Let's rename this pen with flower. And then resize it. Size it down. I like mine a little bigger. Maybe right in there. What is the? Okay, they placed theirs right over here somewhere. But that works. Okay. Hold on Alt, duplicate it, move it over. Edit, transform, flip horizontal, and move it into place. Right in there somewhere. Nice symmetrical composition. Have fun, guys. See you next time.